Hello, welcome to the Celtic Festival of Southern Maryland. This festival started back in the 1970s at the time of the bicentennial. It has been held at several different locations, including King's Landing Camp and St. John's Vianney and Prince Frederick. But this is our home, Jefferson Patterson Park, museum, and wonderful center to visit at any time of the year. The festival includes all aspects of Celtic history and culture, especially music and various types of entertainment. English rugby is included as well because it's played in the Celtic nations. Come and have a wonderful time here. Come and visit us each year, the last of April. Have a good day. Slanta.
Hello, my name is Matt Vinson. I'm the owner of Highland Heritage. We are a custom kilt maker specializing in Highland attire. Our business was started in 1968. My mama and papa, my grandparents came to the country, started this business up. I'm the firstborn here. I have my family here with me, my mother, father, my two children. I have my son Callum, who every chance he gets marches with the bands, and he's on YouTube everywhere right now. Easy to look up and does a lot of things with Albanac. My daughter is dancing today in the Highland dance, and she enjoys that. The rest of my family helps out with the business here. We've been doing the Southern Maryland Scottish Festival. It's actually a Celtic festival now, every year since it started. We are one of the oldest kilt makers in the United States now, starting in 1968. We do outfits for a lot of the pipe bands that you see up and down the East Coast. My grandfather was a world champion tenor drummer, Matt McConnell, and he would teach schools all up and down the East Coast and even out to California, and he'd fly around doing different workshops, and as well as making chanters and bagpipe accessories and repairs. And my grandmother, Pearl McConnell, she was heavily involved in the Scottish dance circle, and used to do all the supplies for all the Scottish dancers and do their kilts and the jackets and all the different parts of their attire. My main focus is concentrating on my children and bringing them up with this culture and getting them involved in the business here. So in hopes that one day they'll take this over for the family, and I'll be the one on the sidelines giving them help, and they'll be running the show at that point. I feel it's really important to keep people interested in the Scottish culture and the Celtic culture. As more families get more and more removed from their roots, it gets easy to lose the interest, and we really try to do the best we can to answer any questions and just help keep that interest going, because if the younger generation doesn't get involved, at some point it will disappear, and that's not something that we want to happen. I thank you for the opportunity to have this interview with you, and again, the name of our company is Highland Heritage. That's highlandheritage.com, and hopefully we'll get to see a lot of you on the road at one of the different Scottish games or festivals. Thank you.
Hi, I'm David Ferguson. I'm here to represent Clan Ferguson Society of North America. We have membership across North America and Europe. Our clan is visiting this festival for the second time, I believe, and we're happy to be here. Happy to be here with the Southern Maryland Celtic Society.
Hi, I'm Lisa Willingboard, Maryland Outlander fan, Outlandish National Capital Area fan. We have Facebook pages. If you come to our booth today, you could get the QR code. If not, check Facebook for Maryland Outlander fans or National Capital Area. We also have the QR code for the pocket people, and we were giving out pins today. Please join us if you're an Outlander fan or a fan of Diana Gabaldon. Thanks. Oh, good. You can get the QR code.
won't. We'll do it now. You want to do it? All yours. Okay, well, that's what Guten Morgen, ik heitel Krager Brokerskeg, and welcome to the Southern Maryland Celtic Festival. I am part of the contingent of Vikings that are here to teach the history of the Celtic islands and Scandinavia and how their two histories are integrated. So much of what we see that we consider part of Celtic art and Irish and Scottish history is inseparable from the contacts with the Vikings that came from Western Norway. So even with clans like Clan Gunn that settled in the Orkneys and the north coast of Scotland, Gunn comes from Gunnar, and so those come from the original Norse settlers in the Shetlands, Orkneys, and into the north coast of Scotland. And so the Norse made their way through those islands, through the Hebrides, down into the Irish Sea, and also to the Isle of Man, which was a kingdom of Vikings that then settled all the coast of Ireland, and towns such as Limerick and Dublin, Cork, Wexford, all of those didn't exist until the Vikings showed up and started seasonal trading camps, which eventually turned into towns and villages because it was the Vikings that taught the Irish urbanization. Now, from their base in the Isle of Man, they raided the coast of Wales and Sussex in England and Wessex, and even into France and as far away as Spain. So the Viking kingdoms in the Isle of Man were very important in shaping the destinies and pathways of all of Ireland and Scotland and England.
Well, look at it. It looks like
Right.
that's a problem.
Now,
Or
yeah.
hook it on this side. Boom. Same thing.
Right.
If, for example, if it's on your right, you just do that.
We're here at the Southern Maryland Celtic Festival. This here is the Gear Falcon, faring boat. Not the kind of ship that you normally associate with Vikings. You have, in pop culture, you think of a Viking ship, long, sleek, full of rowers. The Gear Falcon is an example of a much more practical type of vessel. All right, if the long ship is something like, an airliner or something like that, this is more of like mom's minivan. Okay, it's useful for bringing your goods to market, visiting families across the fjord. Short local trips is what this is really used for.
Good day, how you doing? Welcome to 1814. We are Joshua Barneys Flotilla, and we actually fought here at the Battle of St. Leonard's Creek right before the British went and attacked Washington. If you take a walk down to the end of the road is the actual battle site here at Jefferson Patterson State Park. We are not actual part of the United States Navy. Joshua Barney had been a fairly significant Revolutionary War hero just underneath John Paul Jones. He went over to fight with the French against the British, and when the United States were gearing back up to fight the British again, since Joshua hated the British, he tried coming back. They allowed him to be the 5th senior captain in the United States Navy. He said, hey, who are 1, 2, 3, and 4? Much junior, much less experienced people. So he said, thank you, but no thank you. So he went off and became a privateer, but he continued to petition the Secretary of War and finally convinced them to make a series of barges so that they could protect the Chesapeake area. And he floated from Baltimore down around to here, and they had 2 engagements with the British. They actually defeated the British frigate and their small boats, made their way up to a little bit north of here, burned the barges that he had and fought in the Battle of Bladensburg, where he was captured for the 6th time during his career and gave up after they ran out of ammunition. The British appreciated how valiantly he fought, so they actually put him in charge of all the British wounded. Think about that. You just defeated somebody and you turn over all of you wounded to your enemy. He did a very good job of taking care of them, so Francis Scott Key happened to drop by, got some letters from the injured people who bragged about how well they were taken care of. Francis Scott Key then made it to the British ships right before the Battle of Baltimore. Gave those letters to General Ross. General Ross said, hey, sounds like you're treating our people fairly well. So he released Dr. Bean to Francis Scott Key. They had to stay on board the ship for the one extra day because the Battle of Baltimore was about to occur. And because of that, we have the Star Spangled Banner. And Dr. Bean was released, Francis Scott Key, and they left after the British were defeated up in Baltimore. Other than that, we have several different items here for display. Some are from the period, some are reproductions. We have bar shot, we have chain shot, we have a swivel gun, we have a blunderbuss, we have a musket, we have some boarding axes, and we have some swords. If you have any questions, feel free to drop by our next excursion out here, and hope to see you soon.
Restrooms are over there.
Realize it would no. This is 400 years old, and it was in perfect condition. The bogs preserved the stuff, the shoes, so it's in the leggings. When they first the Indians had a guy putting them on here. Yeah, we're Wild Irish from the 16th century, basically the 1500s, mid 1500s is what we're portraying. This is the last great hurrah of native Gaelic Irish culture before the English finally conquer all of Ireland. So that's what the appeal of this period is the Irish have their native costume. You can see he's wearing a lena, which is a shirt, basically, a long shirt with the long sleeves. It's just for style. It's dyed with saffron, imported from Spain. I'm wearing the Killery jacket, they call it. It's a reproduction of one that was found in a bog. So we're able to reproduce clothing from this time frame because a lot of the wool clothing was preserved in bogs, and so we're able to reproduce it. So the trews I'm wearing and the jacket I'm wearing are based on bog finds. We have pictures of the originals. So that's how we're able to get the patterns and reproduce them. The shoes were found in a well that date from the 1500s. So that's another appeal of this period. But my brother is portraying a kern, and they would fight with these. They were lightly armed, and they would fight with these Irish darts. They're like a javelin. They have a little loop at the end. They're not necessarily a killing weapon, but they ruin your day. They have a barbed end. They go into your. There's an account, one of Shakespeare's plays of a guy coming out of an engagement with some kerns where his thighs are he's stuck with these in his thighs, and he looks like a porcupine. But yeah, and then over here is the more heavily armored Galaglass, and this is what I put on when I'm not wearing my armor. I look like this, but they would wear this padded jacket. It's called a cotoon. It's like football pads. It distributes a blow, so if you get a blow on your bare arm, you might break your arm, but this will distribute a blow, and the chainmail armor keeps anything from penetrating. And this is a arming cap. You put this on, and then you put your chainmail hood on, and then you put your bassinet helmet on over that, and the Galaglass would fight with a battle axe. They were a very effective fighting man for a 300-year period before the firearms come into play. But this is such a long axe that you can withstand armored cavalry with the Galaglass. And they're a very effective fighting force for, like I said, about a 300-year period. They were originally brought over. The Galaglass means foreign war. They were originally brought over as mercenaries from the western islands of Scotland. They were fellow Gaelic speakers. Vikings had settled those areas hundreds of years before, so from the Vikings' influence, they learned how to fight with a battle axe and with armor, chainmail armor. And so they brought them over, and then they just stayed in Ireland for the next 300 years, and each clan would have a company of Galaglass. And this is pre-potato Ireland, so the diet of the day is oats. So this is the woman's work would be to grind their daily grind of oat flour with their stone mills that they would have in each pasture. If they weren't fighting, they were taking cattle from pasture to pasture. And you get enough of that, you get enough flour, and there on the griddle over here is an oat cake that you would make. You would roll it out like a pancake.
They found another body. There's another one,
I've been out there, and they're going to be fighting.
Oh yeah, and so they're looking, and now they took the.
Okay, good afternoon. We represent the 79th New York Volunteer Infantry Regiment.
Prior to the outbreak of the Civil War, the 79th New York was a militia regiment in New York State. So the uniforms that you see with us were their dress uniforms prior to the American Civil War. When the Civil War broke out, we volunteered to act as a volunteer infantry regiment during the course of the Civil War. We participated in the first and second battles at Manassas and several others. I believe we were actually discharged in 1863.
And then actually firing person.
Exactly. Yeah, now the biggest thing here was gear for constant.
All right, welcome. So we are portraying the number 4 British Royal Army Commandos. We're doing a timeline throughout World War II. So starting over here, we have the inception in 1940, starting with the training aspects and them forming as a commando group. Moving on over here is the raid of Dieppe in August of 1942. Learning from that, we move on to D-Day, where they landed as an assault force. Learning from there, we're moving on to Walcheren in late 1944.
Clearer than your cut.
Yep. I've done that in many
Sit!
Hear it.
Lost! Balls out! Going lost! Balls out!
There you go. With them.
Don't suck in, don't suck in! One left! Next day, hey, don't suck in, Nasty, stay. One left! Tango! This ball comes out, guys, attack up quick. All right! Tango! Flat. Nasty right. Come on, Stevie! Tiger! Get out of there, Tom! All right! Trick!
Mike and Trash. Hey!